Yo, Blueface Fan Club, episode 1. How y'all doing?
Yo,
Feeling
yo.
good, feeling good.
RP Duffleback, RP Duffleback.
Man. Who? Duffelbag Buru?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, did
Wait,
he
who?
pass? Who?
Duffleback, man. Y'all don't know about Duffleback?
I
Are
don't
you
know.
talking
who
about
you're
Duffelbag Buru?
Off the Benny album?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't like that album
I
enough.
should have. I should
I
have
don't
known
even
you
know.
trying to set us up.
I don't know who you talking about still, but I'm just go
The
with
first,
it.
the first, Benny was just like, oh, RP Duffleback. The first thing I thought I was just like, man, Duffleback is an interesting nickname.
But yeah, man, first episode. Do y'all want to get into intros?
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. I'll start it off. I'll tell y'all a little bit about myself. My name is Alex, aka Braceface. I make music, I rap, I produce, I mix, I engineer, everything like that. So mainly I rap though, but I'm more of a musician than anything. You can find me at Braceface, mainly on SoundCloud right now, and then my Instagram is Braceface_official. I came up on a lot of rock music and alt music, and I think I'm the most unique when it comes to that. At least I have the most experience when it comes to that. And then in high school, I kind of transitioned over to the hip hop scene. And now I listen to a lot of artists like Smino, Mick Jenkins, and then Griselda and stuff like that. So yeah.
Um, I'm Cam. Go by Cam Katana. Cam Katana, whatever you want to say. Cam Katana on IG, Cashboy Cam on Twitter. I came up heavily on like R&B, old school rap, Biggie, of course, Tupac, R&B. I want to say Mariah Carey, heavily, and just pretty much all like SWV, all that type of stuff. And now I listen to pretty much everything, psychedelic rock. Of course, it's a lot of different rap that you can, I guess, call in different type of genres, but pretty much everything. And yeah, I'm trying to branch off into other things as well.
Nice. What's good, y'all? My name is Ray. My artist name is Ray Q. I'm a singer and songwriter. I'm set to drop my first R&B single this winter and my first neo-gospel project sometime in the summer next year. Because I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a changed man, as Tando says.
Yes, sir.
And I grew up on Drake. My sister, she went to the Cap School of Arts. She played a lot of R&B, I'm sure, but Drake was like the coolest. I thought Drake and Kanye, just some of the Kanye hits, and then I went to the Spinnerella era, with G Herbo. Well, he was known as Little Herb back then. So Future, high school it was just Uzi. Late middle school, not to go back, but late middle school is probably like J. Cole. And as of recently, I kind of fell in love with R&B over the past year, as I found myself writing a song that I would normally rap, and I couldn't exactly make it sound as smooth as I wanted to, so I decided to sing it. I have chorus. I used to be in chorus in middle school, and I'm decent. But as of recently, my favorite artists are probably. I'm not gonna say. I just listen to R&B, so yeah, that's it, man.
All right. Tando?
so my name is Harrison. Unlike these guys, I'm not as talented, so I don't
Dang.
really make any music of any kind. I mainly started kind of getting into music around like probably freshman year of high school. I was very very late, so I kind of started with Kendrick and Tyler the Creator, probably the first artist I ever listened to. Like Good Kid, Mad City, and Wolf are my first albums I ever listened to. So from there, I've just kind of jumped in, and I listened to like a lot of hip hop and R&B from every end of the spectrum. So from Kendrick Lamar to Playboy Cardi, like that's my vibe. Like I mess with everything, and I also mess with R&B. Kind of got a little late into that too. But yeah, I've dabbled in production a little bit, and even tried to rap a little bit. But overall, like I mainly just listen to music. I like to think though that I have pretty impeccable music taste though.
Man, I would say I would agree.
That's a
with
bold
that.
statement.
I would agree with that.
Thank you.
I highly agree with that.
Appreciate the cosign. But yeah, you can follow me on IG at Tando Dolo and Twitter Tando Rondo. So yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna drop those those ads, right, Alex?
Yeah, I'll drop them somewhere. Yeah. So the first topic we have up for today, and I think something we all listened to, was the new Benny the Butcher album. If I'm not mistaken, did everybody here listen to that?
Yep.
Yes, we did.
All right, cool. So does anybody want to give their thoughts on it first, or should I be the one that talks about it first? Since Tando said I should probably talk about it first.
I want to be the first person to speak on it, just because
Okay,
I
go
feel like
ahead.
my opinion is probably the least to matter on this one, because I'm like, this is the first project that I've ever listened to him, so I don't feel like I have like the best opinion on it, since I can't relate it to like his other projects, if that
Right.
makes sense. So
I'm in the same boat.
yeah, so I really liked it, but of course, with the Hit Boy production, it was fire, and verses were fire to me. Features were cold, and they fit, which I do like. It's one thing to have a big name feature, and it maybe sound cool, or just having the feature to bring attention to the album, but for it to also like fit the song and maybe whatever is being talked about, or the beat fits the feature artist as well. That's another thing as well. So I enjoyed that too, but I like the project.
Cool. Would you rate it? Would you rate it? Would you recommend it? Stuff like that.
I'd recommend it, but you have to be kind of careful with recommending certain projects, especially when it's like heavy in one lane. So
Right.
Of course I'd recommend it, but probably to people that listen to this style of rap or music,
Okay.
Rating, I'm not for sure. That's a good question. You might have. I kind of, before rating it, I want to give it another listen, play through, before giving like a final rating. Because the first listen is one thing, and the second listen is a whole nother.
For sure. Would you say you would? Would you say you're now a Benny fan? Would you listen to more stuff by him? Like if he dropped a new project, would you listen to it? Would you keep on the lookout for him?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's good. Well, all right. Ray, do you want to go, Tando? Either of y'all?
I prefer to go last.
All right.
Okay.
I can go. So I definitely like the album. As far as Benny, I'm probably a little bit more familiar. I listened to a few Griselda projects. I can't even tell you which ones because there's so many, but I've definitely heard a lot of verses by him, and I always liked what I heard. I'm not like the biggest Benny fan, but like I definitely, like what I've heard so far for the most part. So this album I was really hyped for because I definitely like what Hit Boy has done recently, and I'd say that he didn't disappoint. But at the same time, like I don't know, like I'm not there yet. Like there's some people talking about album of the year, all that. Like I'm definitely not there yet. I probably need like maybe another listen or two, but it's definitely a very, very, very solid listen, and I could see it growing on me and me liking it even more as time goes on. Especially with that production, because like I'm very big on production.
Yeah, I think I think I would agree with you on something it can grow on me for. I'm not the biggest Hit Boy fan, but I think with Benny, I might be the biggest Benny fan here because I listen to a lot of Griselda. I think I am the biggest Benny fan here, but I've listened to everything from a friend of ours on. So that was before Tana Talk 3. And then I kind of fell in love with the plugs I met. So I got used to all those old school, like dirty, grimy, like Derringer beats and stuff like that. And Alchemist beats, who I think is probably having the greatest run this year, Alchemist. But when it comes to Benny, I think Benny can't go wrong on a track as far as his lyricism and how he carries himself and portrays himself and the music that he makes. You can't really go wrong. comparing this album to his previous albums, I think the production on his previous album suits him a lot more, especially on Tana Talk 3. The Plugs I Met was not necessarily more experimental, but a lot more professional and kind of unique. And I think it had its own sound. Again, I'm not a major fan of Hit Boy, and I don't think Benny fit too well on the Hit Boy production, but I don't hate it by any means. I listened to it, I think 3 times, 3.5 times, I guess. I listened to it 3 times on headphones. And I was kind of struggling to get through it, which is crazy for me to say about a Benny project, but I listened to it on the car, and the production came through a lot better, but that might be biased because it was loud. But this is probably my least favorite album from him, just because I'm not a fan of the Hit Boy production. But in terms of writing it and the features, I think this album is definitely something that might go down as a classic for him. And I think he really did well on this album, even if I'm not the biggest fan of it.
I just want to say before Ray goes, I feel like that speaks a lot for a pretty much day one fan to be able to separate their opinion on the artist and project, and how at least still saying okay, this project still could be huge,
Right. Yeah. Kind of objectivity versus subjectivity.
Mm-hmm.
Subjectively, I don't like it, but objectively, I think this is probably his best project.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'd be my take on it. It was kind of, sorry to cut you off, and I know, Ray, you're up, but it was kind of, as I was listening to it, I just hope it grows on me, because I found myself kind of struggling to get through it as I got to the back half of an album, which I never thought I would say about a Benny album, considering I know probably every word off the Plugs I Met, and every word on half the songs on Tana Talk 3. But yeah, I'm just hoping this grows on me, but this is a very, very good album, just not for me.
Okay, cool. Well, I've never listened to a Griselda project. Well, I take that back. My first Griselda project, the first time I ever heard Griselda, I feel like was late 2019 or early this year. And man, I just checked out a couple freestyles, and I just really wasn't engaged, at all. But I knew they could spit, I really love how Conway, how he spits and everything he's been through with the whole mouth issue.
Oh yeah.
But I think Conway's my favorite. But I'll have to go back and listen to some of his projects. I think, man, I have to give it a second listen for sure, because I feel like a second listen can sometimes make a 3-1 comeback.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think the lower half, I think towards that Over the Limits song with Dom Kennedy, I think that was kind of the beginning of the end. Queen Najee, or whatever you say. Actually, I like the West Side Gun feature. I like what Conway did on that. I hate to be such a Conway writer right now, but
he's
man,
good.
I don't know what to I don't know what to say, man. Honestly, I'm gonna just have to say yeah, because I had a question I had to ask y'all, but man, I definitely should have wrote it down. Man, I hate to do that for the first podcast, but we got more into, so anything else y'all want to say about the album?
I definitely liked it. I definitely have to listen again to even get some standouts, because I think I did a listen and a half. Not because I couldn't get through the second time, I was just busy. But I definitely enjoyed some standouts for me. Are probably One Way Flight with Freddie Gibbs, because I'm a huge Freddie Gibbs fan. He's probably one of my top 5 favorites right now, for real. And then I think I liked Famous as well. From what I remember, the beat on Famous really hit for me. But I'm gonna have to go back again to listen to the rest of it to kind of see. But I can honestly, I'm almost gonna chalk it down to being I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like it again. The more I listen to it.
Yeah, Freddie Gibbs definitely slid on that. You know, didn't he
Facts.
do the hook? He did the hook and he had a
Yeah, he did the
verse.
hook and I was
Yeah.
very scared he was not gonna get a verse. I was like, bro, they cannot do a song with and not let this nigga get a verse.
Yeah,
But
that'd be
like,
terrible.
he came in the last few seconds and just killed that.
Hey,
I was
Yeah.
that's like having LeBron on your team and be like, all right, bro, you got to be 6 man for this game. Like, you know what I mean?
Bro, that's one of my biggest pet peeves with rappers when they do that, when they have a big rapper that like is gonna kill that, especially on a hard beat, and they either just give him the hook or like just give him like a short ass verse. Like that should be
Man.
gone.
And like you just threw that opportunity in the trash. Like
Facts. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that, Tando. I think one way flight is real good. I have 2 songs saved from it, and those are Traded All and Legend. But I did really like. I think Thank God I Made It is going to grow on me. And I think that song was a beautiful song. The only song I really, all jokes aside, I really could not get with was Timeless. I was on Twitter, scouring Twitter, seeing what people were saying about it, and man, it was just absurd to me how many people were like that beat.
I'm with you on that, bro.
I just couldn't get behind it.
That song's
I feel
probably
like that can be biased though.
Say that again, Cam.
I feel like that can be biased just with the features, the name features on it. You know.
I think,
Like,
people,
nah,
are mainly
I think
focused
that
on
that
the
beat was
Wayne.
just garbage.
People were also mainly focused on the Wayne verse and anything else. I mean, even I also think that Benny had a really weak showing on there, which I think was on purpose. Like Big Sean even kind of surpassed him on that song. I
don't even remember Big Sean's verse.
I don't even remember.
I know Benny's verse was very, very, very like very slight, very.
I don't remember Benny's verse, but I do remember Big Sean and a little bit of Wayne.
I remember Wayne. I was on Twitter and people were saying this really is like old Wayne, and I can agree on that. That Wayne that showed out for that song was insane. That beat is just and I think they said it was for Watch. It was originally for Watch the Throne, and it never got used. So Hit Boy sat on it for 11 years and then gave it to Benny. But
that beat really isn't it?
Well,
He's the worst thing on that project.
Yeah, that beat was definitely not timeless. But yeah, I think that's all our thoughts on that. Do y'all have anything else we should say, or do you want to get into the Twitter takes?
I look you think we should listen to a song, kind of recommend a song for the viewer, just in case they may have never listened to the album.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we should recommend a song.
Yeah, I think we should also listen to one too, and then you could always cut it out.
Yeah. Should we do something off that album or Benny's best stuff?
That's gonna be all you, bro.
Yeah, I know. This is probably up to me. So
I kind of want to hear One Way Flight. To be honest, I kind of want to hear it again.
Okay. Yeah, I would recommend that song. That song was really good. Do you want me to play it on the bot?
Yeah, bring rhythm in here, man.
All right, cool.
But Alex? I don't know. I'm not sure if I can see how much time we have left on the pod, but are we good to talk about another album, or no? Or did y'all not have anything else y'all want to talk about?
I mean, I got some sleepers, but I'm gonna keep those for later in the podcast. And I have 2 sleeper albums, which is probably just going to be me elaborating on it because I think I'm the only one that listens to them. But that's why they're sleepers.
There is a Twitter take I want to get to though that goes hand in hand with this Benny conversation.
Oh, word. Okay, yeah, we can get into it then. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do y'all want to get into that right now? I think we can just say if you do want a song to listen to off this project, you should listen to One Way Flight with Benny and Freddie Gibbs.
That's fine.
So yeah, I think we can leave it on that. But Tando, you got the Twitter take if you want to read it off.
Yes, I do. So there was a tweet that somebody sent the other day, and they said Griselda's run really needs to be put in its proper historical perspective because a lot of the crews that we're comparing them to, they've already eclipsed. They just don't have the push of the old rap media machine since rap mags, TV shows, and organic radio is almost extinct. So I have my take on this, but what do y'all think?
I kind of want to hear your take.
Yeah, you go first.
Yeah.
All right, so as far as Griselda goes, like as far as the other artists, like I like all of them. Like there's none of them I don't like. The only one I haven't checked out yet is Armani Caesar. But as far as everyone who's dropped, like I probably listen to West Side the most because I feel like he has the most like casually enjoyable songs for me. I mean, I don't have any like his albums in full, but I definitely have a few songs off of each of his projects that I've definitely checked out. And I haven't gotten to the point with Griselda where like I think they're like there or even close to there. Because the way I see Griselda is like just like they have a niche, like just like somebody like Playboy Cardi or like Lil Uzi or Future or Lil Baby, like they have their own niche. Just like they have their own niche, I feel like somebody like Griselda, they have their style, like for old heads, for people who miss that sound, who want to restore the feeling. And I don't feel like they branch out enough to where they can even get to that. I think the Benny album's a start, but I just think they honestly make a lot of the same album over and over again. Not that that's an issue, but I mean, I think they flood the streets, and I don't think their albums are anything like crazy though, like personally. But they definitely make a lot of good songs, and I think if they make some classics, then that conversation can be had. But they're nowhere else there now.
I think I agree with you. I do agree with you. It is way too early for all their careers, which is crazy to say because Benny's been doing this for 15 years or whatever. And I think the earliest project you can find on Spotify from his is 12 years old, if that says how long he's been doing it. And they're just really now becoming mainstream. But I saw an interview with him, and he said he's getting better every project he does, which I agree, and I do think he's getting better every project he does. They are too new to put them over put them in like the all-time list. But when it comes to what they do, especially Benny, I think Benny and Conway are the two most, I don't want to say talented, but Westside Gunn kind of relies on his versatility. Benny and Conway rely both on that old lyricism that a lot of people like from the 90s and stuff look to. I think when it comes to modern day lyricism, Benny and Conway are two of the best lyricists in the game. I'm not going to say top two, but definitely some of the best in the game. And I think the thing that separates them from having one project and being well known and going up in the ranks is that consistency. And I think my take on it is if Benny keeps, and I keep bringing up Benny because I'm the most well-versed on him. If Benny drops another project like this and he puts this level of detail into it and this level of production into it, and he drops more projects like this, I think he's going to go down as one of the all-time greats. Because as I listen to Benny's schemes and his lyricisms and the stuff he does, comparing it to back in the 90s and stuff like that, I feel like he's a lot more talented than some of those guys. I'm not going to say the greats or anything like that, but from some of the stuff I've heard in the 90s, Benny's up there definitely competing with them. So I think it's just a matter of consistency. And for Conway, it's the same, but Conway's kind of behind because he just put out his first album. And I think we can go over it in a different podcast, but I don't think it's necessarily there yet, even though it was a good album.
I feel like it's so hard to like specifically with this type of topic because it's hard to scale a style like that that's, I don't want to say outdated, but at the same time kind of is outdated, like there's of course a whole like genre of like that type of rap and that like that style, and it's kind of hard to give them the correct props and should I say this, like give them the right recognition and in this time period with a type of music that's getting awards and praise right now,
Right.
Do you think he would be recognized, or like him and the whole group would be recognized as huge stars and people if they were doing what they're doing back in the day?
I think that's a good question. I think I don't think they would have had nearly as much recognition as they have now. I think in the Twitter take they did have a good point. Well, actually, no, they don't. I disagree with the last point on the Twitter take. It says they just don't have the push of the old rap media machine since rap mags, TV shows, and organic radio is almost extinct. But at the same time, you never would have heard of these three guys from Buffalo. You only would have heard of the guys from the boroughs, you know.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I don't think they would have caught on just because of an unfortunate location that they're in, if that makes sense. But I definitely think they would hang up there in talent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that because I think that's what sets them aside or sets them apart from a lot of people is that, you know, obviously there's not a lot of people making that type of music. And definitely I would have never seen them even being as big as they are like a couple years ago.
Right.
Especially with like the sound of Atlanta and like, you know, the more mainstream popular club sounds you hear now. I definitely would have seen them getting this big. So I think they're really important for the culture as far as like having like more, I'd say close to mainstream subgenres or close to like subgenres that are recognized by a lot of people. Like they feed a really good audience that needs to be kind of recognized, I feel.
Because like it's so tough because Alex said he could see them in a couple projects, see him reaching like the list of like top artists, and it's like it's kind of tough because that whole idea has changed of like what legendary artists are or who legends are because
I think he said lyricists though.
Yeah, well, yeah, lyricists, and like even that's changed, you know, because like rappers aren't talking about the same things. I mean, of course, there, like you said, like there's, of course, in that lane, there's, of course, a style of lyricism and stuff like that, but so many kids and stuff are like changing that as we go on, you know. So what is it going to be like when he does come out with these, I guess, what we could call legendary or classic albums? What is it going to be then? You know, it could change and be completely different, and then it could still be a great album, but it's not going to be recognized as it should, if that makes sense.
Well, I want to going off that. I want to get into this, and I think this may be a deeper discussion. We need a deeper topic that we need to talk about at a different time. But by saying that, you almost say numbers equal how good something is. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this album didn't have that many sales. It can't be very good, because we can get, I promise you there's a bunch of people like me and a bunch of other old heads that are really, you know, in love with this album because they love what he did. And I've been seeing it on Twitter, like I said. So even if in the future, when nobody is kind of in tune with this, I think you can't disregard something based off if it didn't do numbers, if it's still a really good album.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, I hate that. I hate that argument that like just because, you know, you didn't do nothing that it's not a good album, because I think that's false.
For sure.
Exactly.
The numbers are so skewed now with streaming and like bundles and, you know, all that stuff that makes it's just crazy. It's a very different world we're living in. It's crazy how much music's changed throughout the course of our lives.
Yeah, it's messed up the artistry of it.
Yeah. NBA, NBA is killing the charts, but I don't see nobody talking about Blueface. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we have to really give Blueface his flowers. I don't know, but
while he's here, you know. And I do just want to say this, since it is episode 1, there's a running joke that Blueface is the best rapper out, and honestly, if you ask me, it's not a joke, like Tando said.
At all.
So you got to give him his flowers while he can smell them. But for sure, that was good. Do y'all want to move on to the next Twitter take, Meek versus Future?
For sure.
Yeah. I bet. So I guess I'll read it off.
Yeah,
what was that, Ray?
No, okay. I kind of want to give my take on that, but you can read it off. My bad.
Wait. Do you want to give your take on the other thing? I don't want to rush you.
No, I didn't have anything to say about it. I was just listening for the most part.
All right. So the next Twitter take we have is somebody posted on Twitter. It says, if Meek and Future did a versus, Future would get swept. It wouldn't be close. And he's saying hit for hit. I don't think he's talking about lyricism, but I think he's talking about hit for hit.
No, it's
And
hit for hit because those versus battles people used to do.
yeah. So
And
I'll let
another
you
thing-
guys elaborate on that.
Another thing with the verses is they for some reason, like, you can also be featured in a hit. You know, you can play like once you get towards the later rounds, you can play, you know, a song that you featured on.
Rico.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I saw 2 Chainz doing that. You know, when he was getting apparently swept, which a lot of people thought he was. And but as far as Meek and Future goes, man, it definitely would be tough. It definitely would be tough. I think Future has the better albums, collective work with the and I'm talking about 2 particular albums. I'm not talking about like his whole discography, but I'm talking about the Future album and the Hendrix album. I think those 2 albums, especially the Future album, is better than. I mean, it's close, but I think it's better than anything else. Anything Meek's got.
You said the Future and the which other album?
Hendrix.
The Hendrix album. I thought those albums were
Back in 17.
I thought those albums were could low key best what Meek has.
I didn't know you were. I didn't know you liked self-titled like that.
Oh yeah, the subtitle, especially Future.
Man, I don't.
I don't like self-titled either. That was very forgiving.
I felt like that was like. I feel like that was like some real music, man. Like no cap.
I think those would have to be things I have to go back and re-listen to, but I don't I like looking at the track list. I don't really have anything.
I feel like Future definitely came out like his box, you know, with some of those. Like,
Okay.
But on
I see that
Hendrix,
argument.
I feel like you would like Hendrix a little bit more.
Okay.
I think he went more back to the trap rap on Hendrix. Right. But I feel like on Future he had songs like Thank You and Hallucinating, and
you're getting them confused, bro.
Yeah, I think you're confusing them.
I'm getting them confused.
Yeah, Hendrix is the R&B album. Future.
Oh, Hendrix is the R&B album.
Yeah.
Future.
Maybe that's why I didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
No, Hendrix is solid. I liked Hendrix.
Yeah, Hendrix was just the better one for me.
I don't like
now
song off of it, but there's some good songs for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fire, man.
I do want to ask, in Future's catalog, since we're doing a hit v hit, are you guys taking are you taking his joint with Juice WRLD that he did, and are you also taking What a Time to Be Alive?
I mean, personally, I don't even know.
wouldn't.
It's hard. It's so hard to like stack up those when you add on
Man.
features and stuff.
I
could give him
I wouldn't add those in.
I could give him with Time to Be Alive because I feel like that's damn near a Future project.
I do as well. I do. If you really listen to it, I don't think like Drake did his thing on that for sure, but I think a lot of those tracks wouldn't be what they are without Future. Especially like scholarships.
Well,
and
I mean,
stuff
we're not counting the whole album. We're just counting one hit. So I feel like the only hit from that is Jumpman. So,
only hit? Are you serious?
Yeah, no, you're kind of. I think dang near every song off that was a hit. Like at least to me.
Big
Oh, Big Range. Yeah,
Scholarships?
Big Range. Oh, yeah, Big Range is nice though. But I'm talking more so like to the general audience, like because there's a lot of people in the verses that's like, oh, well, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? Like, so
Right.
I mean, the way I look at verses though, and I feel like most like you can determine what a hit is. Like as long as it's not like some like album cut that nobody's ever heard. Like if it's a song that, like everybody was like vibing to at one point, you can call it a hit. It don't have to be like a Billboard, top 10 like pop.
No, I agree, but in the Monica versus oh my god, who did you go with? Monica versus Brandy. A lot of people were like looking at some of Brandy's songs and were just like, oh, like what is this? Blah blah blah. But it's just like, those are hits. If you listen to R&B, you should know, those are hits.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like as far as hits on that project, there's at least 2 to 3 maybe.
But what a
time? On What a Time?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but switching.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
But I'd say like switching over to Meek. I don't know how much y'all listen to Meek, but personally, I think Meek is the better artist. That's just me. I mean, I listen to Meek more, like Meek's albums more. I don't really like a lot of Future's albums because I feel like a lot of them run together. But I think Future probably has more memorable songs. I just don't think that his album, like he has so many albums and a lot of them are just
Mid.
to me. Hendrix was definitely the one that stood out, but everything else,
Wow.
I'm not really huge on. I do love his features though, especially recently. He's been going crazy. But I feel like overall, like I don't know, I just can't really give it to him over Meek. But as far as like a versus, I think it would be very, very close. I think Future might edge him out, honestly, because I think
I feel like
Meek has probably Meek. I mean, I disagree with you. I think Meek has probably better albums, but or maybe it's a better discography, which I'm not sure if you meant that, but I feel like Meek's hits don't really reach Future's hits.
Yeah,
That could be biased though, because we're in Atlanta.
I agree with everything. I agree with everything you said. But I'm not saying I didn't say Meek's discography as a whole was worse than Future. I was just saying like Future's that one Hendrix album is better than anything I feel like Meek has put out. But I agree with that's totally fine, dude. But I do feel like Meek is a better artist. I agree with that. But what do you guys think? I feel like Future can implement the feature that he has with Rihanna. That song he has with Rihanna. I don't know if you guys remember that song. Let me see what it was called.
I don't.
What, you mean the one he has on Hendrix?
No, he has a song with Rihanna, and like I was saying, like in the verses, you could play songs that you feature on, so that were also hits. And so like Love Song, like you guys remember Love Song?
No, I don't.
No, I do not.
Wow. Oh my
But
God.
I do have to say when I think it comes to like verses, I think as long as the song is under your name, you should be able to count that. I don't know what you guys feel on that, but if it's Rihanna's song featuring Future, I don't know if that would count. I don't think that would count. But if it's Future song featuring Rihanna and she just had a verse on it,
I feel like
you contributed to a hit. You know what I mean? So like you can say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but there are some songs that blow up and nobody cares about, like, you know, the feature or anything like that. So you might have to take it case by case too.
Yeah, I think it depends because
on
there's
the
some
situation.
songs. Because there's some songs where like you make an impression, and there's some songs where it's just like, yeah, he was just featured on that. Like he wasn't really a big part of it.
But there is some features that are huge, like that. Okay, you pretty much took over the song as a feature.
Yeah,
Future has a lot of those, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
He does.
Future does have a lot of those. Yeah.
I low key, I'm not the I rock, like I fuck with Meek, but I don't listen to him regularly, so it could be biased, and also with the fact that the Atlanta, I guess, trap rap scene, just Atlanta rap being so big right now, I guess that could be biased, but I guess taking that out of the whole situation, I low key. I feel like Future would probably win this battle just because I feel like hits is like his game almost like
he goes for hits rather than normal music.
Yeah, like,
and I think Meek. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, it's almost at a like he's not even thinking about it at this point, but it's a part of his process. Just and it just his face at this point. It's just like. They think of him as like on social media, like he's just got such a presence, like at this point, it's crazy, you know, like he's really pretty much at the Drake level at this point.
Damn near, shit.
Pretty
I never
much.
thought he would get this far either.
Yeah, like he's gotten to a whole nother level these past couple of years. So,
have y'all seen? Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say it's crazy because he got so much success off these last few years and these last few albums, but these last few years and these last few albums are my least favorite albums from him.
Yeah,
and
so
like,
sure.
Yeah, which is very, very weird to me because I liked everything before Evil, which dropped in 2016. So everything Future, Hendrix, and afterwards, I did not like. I liked Evil a lot. I like Purple Rain, What a Time to Be Alive. Self-explanatory. I mean, that's a classic to me. DS2, a classic to me as well. And then Beast Mode was real slept on. So I think, and again, it could be biased because we live in Atlanta, and especially biased in my case because I don't like Meek Mill's music. But I think I used to listen to a lot of Future, and What a Time to Be Alive had a bunch of hits on it.
Why don't you like
DS2
Meek
had a
music?
bunch of hits on it. So I think Future takes it.
Did y'all hear his new snippet? Gucci bucket hat.
Oh yeah, I
No.
did. Gucci bucket hat. Gucci bucket hat. Yeah, I heard that.
Oh my god.
I'm dead.
No. Well,
It sounds
I'm
trash to
actually.
me, but it might be a hit. the way Future be going, man.
Man, I'd listen to it.
I
I'm
need
actually-
another 56 Nights or Monster from him. That's what I need.
You said you need another one?
Yeah, I need
Yeah.
a mixtape or project like that. Like
Oh
that
yeah,
was-
old Future mixtape. Oh yeah.
oh my
I don't
god.
know
Yeah,
if I want a
expeditiously.
project from him, but I'll take another throwaway. And when I say throwaway, I mean song, not
Yeah, throwaway
Man.
was like, yeah.
yeah, because that I tell you that song got me through some times, man.
That tape right there, that almost changed my perspective for a little point in time.
What'd you say?
That mixtape, like that project, I will never
talking about
forget.
Monster?
Like that time, Monster. I will never forget that when I first heard that project. I was like, "What?" Like
That album did a real good job of catching emotions too.
it did.
Like that's probably Future's most emotional project that I've heard. Again, I gotta re-listen to Future and Hendrix because if one of them's an R&B, maybe that can catch like attention. But
Yeah.
I remember Monster being like an emotional listen. I'll say that. So especially ending with Codeine Crazy. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
Codeine
that's
Crazy.
self-explanatory. That one
Yeah.
song may put Future over Meek.
Yeah.
itself.
Oh yeah, I don't think Meek,
Crazies.
Meek doesn't have a Codeine Crazy.
Yeah.
March
Or a
Madness.
March
neither.
Madness, man.
Yeah.
Actually, okay, no.
Well,
Jeans
Meek
and
doesn't
Nightmare.
sing. Yeah, Meek
intro.
doesn't sing, dude.
Yeah, he
Intro,
did. Yeah, that one is. That's
You said
a
Rico?
huge.
But
Yeah, Meek doesn't
is
sing
that
for
Drake's? You know, because if we're talking Rico, I said, is that Drake's? Because you guys were talking about
It's his.
No, that's on Meek's album.
It's literally
Yeah.
his. You
Okay,
can't give it
okay,
Drake.
my fault. I'll take it back. I do really like that song though. That's one of the few
Truly
Meek
don't like
songs I
Meek,
really
man.
really like.
And that's what I was trying to get to. What, like you said, you don't like Meek, and I'm asking. I feel like the viewers would, make the sacrifice. Like, like what's up with that?
Yeah, I just don't like his voice. I don't like his flow. I don't like. There's nothing about it that really appeals to me. I'm not a big fan of the production. I'm not going to say it's generic or anything like that because it's not. But I don't know why. I just I think it's a combination of his voice and his flow and his energy and stuff like that. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I was never. I don't have anything against him. If he makes good music, I'll listen to it. But I just there's not too many songs from him that really captured my eye. So that's why I'm not big on him.
What year, Alex? I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What year did Monster drop? It says 2014.
Was that 14 or 15?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 14 because it was like I remember
after Honest and before Beast Mode.
Yeah.
So 14.
Because it was around a good time. Like he was dropping some good projects around that time.
I think the only one I haven't listened to is Astronaut Status. But even that had a few singles I had saved on it. I forget which ones.
Yeah, that was the one that was
Itching.
popular when I was in middle school. But
Right.
I after that I hadn't really touched like a Future album except for Dirty Sprite 2 and Hendrix. Like that was it. Like I was just kind of on and off as far as like when I wanted to really key in on the artist and when I just was just chilling.
Right.
That's fair because I feel like DS2 really, as far as like albums, put him really on.
Oh yeah. That's a top 5 favorite album for me.
Yeah.
Like DS2, like that's another album where I can probably name damn near every word on the album.
Yeah.
And I had that album on repeat not on repeat, but I've listened to that album like in its entirety a bunch. And I don't know. It might be a no skip to me.
Okay.
I think
Well,
it is a no skip to me, which
Nice.
in itself makes it a real good album. I can't think of anything on there I didn't like.
well, speaking of that album, guys, there's another Twitter take that kind of goes hand in hand with that. You can only keep 3 albums from 2015. I know one of y'all's gonna say DS2. Probably Alex.
Yep.
It's so like I got to think about like what all came out that year.
Well, do you see the Twitter take on there?
You want me to read some of them?
Yeah.
You can also pull it up, Cam, in the Twitter take section if you don't have it pulled up already.
Okay. Cool.
I'm just gonna read. I'm not gonna read all of them because I feel like some of these, like I know y'all aren't gonna say, but just the main ones that I know are like big, and y'all can also like mention if y'all remember anything else in 2015. But there was To Kill a Butterfly, Before the Money.
To Pimp a Butterfly.
Sorry, to Pimp a Butterfly. I don't know how I said that as
To
the
Kill a
Kendrick,
Mockingbird.
as the resident Kendrick stan. I'm actually disappointed in myself. To Pimp a Butterfly, Before the Money by Joey Badass, DS2 obviously. If you're
Barter
reading
6?
Huh?
Barter 6?
Yeah, Barter 6. If you're reading this, it's too late. Rodeo.
The
Good
ASAP
Morning
Rocky
by
joint and the Big Sean joint.
Yeah, Good Morning by Mac Miller. I don't know if y'all listened to this, but I liked Tetsuya and Youth by Lupe Fiasco. And the Meek album I think was good that year too. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of
Now, what is that in the bottom left? Does anybody know what that is? Is that a Pusha album?
Pusha T.
Yeah, it's Pusha T.
All right, that's what I thought.
What's the one that's second? The top bro, second to the left.
Second to the left.
Vince Staples.
The first one?
No, that's Vince Staples. The top row is Big Sean, ASAP Rocky, Vince Staples, and To Pimp a Butterfly.
Say
that's
that again.
one.
Oh, Big Sean, ASAP, and Vince Staples.
Yep. Yeah. That's the one that had North, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was a
I don't know
solid
what it was
album.
called.
It was a lot of songs, but a solid album to me.
I was gonna ask y'all about that one.
How do you feel about Vince Staples in general?
He's
a cool dude.
I feel like, I don't know, like that's an interesting one.
I'm definitely looking from the outside in, but I feel like he may have fell off. But
I got into him through Earl.
Same.
I think I did too. Yeah.
Through Odd Future in general, as a collective, I kind of
got. I don't like it's I don't know. I feel you know what it is. I think it's his projects really, because he makes good like songs and stuff. But I haven't found a project by him. I'm like, okay, this project is like, okay, I'm locked in. Like this is fire.
Yeah, I agree. He makes good projects, but not like super memorable ones that stick with you.
Yeah, I feel like an artist you have to have a pretty much classic project for you to reach like a certain like a high level. You have to.
So which albums are y'all going with?
Well, I'll take this off the bat just because I named one of them already, I guess. I had a list of 4. I'm gonna pull it up and read off the 4 that I have, and I gotta kick one out. This is gonna be tough. Oh my god, never mind. Okay, so Rodeo's on there.
Sure.
That's probably my favorite album of all time. If I'm being honest, I love that album so much. DS2, which I said is in my top 5 albums as well. To Pimp a Butterfly and Barter 6. I think those are the 4 that really, really stick out to me. If I had to, I would kick out Barter 6, just because there were a few songs on there that I had to skip through. And I would probably keep Rodeo DS2. And I don't see how you can kick out To Pimp a Butterfly. Like that album really is like close to a masterpiece the more I listen to it. So, yeah, I'm going with Rodeo DS2 and To Pimp a Butterfly.
Before I go, I want to say, and fucking Spotify, Apple Music, don't like if y'all ever see this shit, don't take my damn idea. But I feel like those platforms, you should be able to look up a year and all songs from that year or projects from that year should just pop up.
Get this man a job. Get this man a job.
Fire. You guys gotta hire him right now.
Hire this man right now.
Oh my god.
Jeez. Like imagine how easy that would be. Like,
dude, that's such a good idea.
That's a good idea.
You can organize it by release date so you can see really what all dropped that year. That is so smart.
That's a great idea.
But
Somebody better hire this man.
but I want to say, damn, this is tough because I like Big Sean, but I like it's not too many projects that I would go back and listen to by him. But that Detroit one was fire. I remember Experimental on that was like that was so smooth. But I'm going with the Kendrick one, To Pimp a Butterfly for sure. Rodeo. Is there like a certain amount that we have to pick off?
Only three.
Only three?
You only keep
Yeah,
three.
I'm going with To Pimp a Butterfly, Rodeo, and damn. It's either between DS2 and If You're Reading This Too, It's Too Late. I'm like the production and just songs on If You're Reading This It's Too Late was crazy for me.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I'd probably have to go To Pimp a Butterfly, Rodeo. I'm trying to think, because like the rest of the albums, I like. Well, not all of them, but like some of them I like, but none of them were like crazy. I would like die if they weren't.
yeah,
And that's where it gets
They were hella solid ones.
yeah.
I probably have
Facts.
to go.
I like the Joey product.
Maybe the Mac album, Good Morning. I really did like.
Okay,
That's a good take.
But honestly, my third one's interchangeable. Like Before the Money, ASAP Rocky album, the Vince
You gotta
album.
pick one.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is interchangeable. So I'm saying like, yeah, like I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping with the third one. So like probably good.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Wait,
that, man.
Is that the that's the Rocky album with LSD on it, isn't it?
Yes, that's probably to me. That's
Are you gonna pick it off that one song?
Nah, because it was some other. It was like M's, and it was some good songs on it.
It was a great album.
Facts. That is a good album.
It was a good album, but the one before that was crazy for him.
What is the one on that? Is that Long Live ASAP, or was that a different album? Just the name of it. I know which album that is, but
No, the
facts.
The names I don't even know.
Oh yeah, Long Live. Oh, well,
I think the ASAP album like before that was like the one that damn near like Fashion Killer and all that shit on it.
Okay, yeah. Long Live ASAP was the one before that one. That one we're looking at is At Long Last ASAP.
Yeah, yep.
Long Live ASAP was very good.
I don't know why he named his albums that like that, man.
Right.
I'm wondering why Testing wasn't good, but I mean, shoot. Because the last his first two were real good, but Testing, kind of a miss in my book.
Really?
I think he thought because he named it Testing, he could just put whatever.
He said,
I like some. It was some good songs on it though, but it wasn't the same as a project.
I couldn't get through that album at all.
I did, and it's weird because I liked it at first, but the more I listened to it, the less I liked it.
That's crazy.
Okay.
I know that never happens with anything. It's always the other way around.
Wow, call it a gentleman's sweep,
man. It's for Wyndham.
That's funny as hell.
But let me get my third real quick, and when I say this, I'm just go ahead and put it out there. If it already wasn't known to the viewers that I'm the least knowledgeable when it comes to this hip hop stuff. So for me, you're not gonna be mad, but I don't care. Future not on there. All right.
I respect that.
Kendrick not on my list. Right? Matt Blueface not up here.
What?
It's gonna have to be Rodeo for me. A lot of these, like I only listen to about half of these as well, but Rodeo, for me, Dreams Worth More Than Money, by Meek, and then the ASAP album. I like the ASAP album.
Yeah, you're not taking Brother 6? I thought you would have taken Brother 6.
That's crazy because I thought he was gonna say that too.
Facts.
That's not even the best Thug album from that year.
Yeah, I know, but
Wait,
I mean,
did Slime season 2 come out that year? Maybe I'm tripping. I don't
I
think
thought
it
it
did.
came out before that.
Maybe before
Yeah,
that.
he probably.
It's so
No, but the
crazy
thing
because
is,
I
like-
was not listening to him like that back then.
That's crazy.
Did you go back and listen to him and appreciate it?
Wait, what?
I have a little bit, and I've heard like it's not like I went out and like listened to it. Like I've heard songs on it, so I was like, oh, okay, I remember it. Like I
Right.
wasn't like going like looking like, oh, I can't wait for this album to drop and all this. Like, oh, I love this album. Like I've heard the songs and I liked them, but I just never like knew what project it came from and that type of thing.
Apparently, Slime season 2 did come out in October 30, like in 2015, but that doesn't add up to me for some reason.
Why?
Wait, what?
Just the release
Because-
date, you mean?
Yeah, because like I remember my junior year being really like early in my junior year liking it, and that's like my senior. That don't add up. Spinrilla must have had the early plug on it because I was definitely listening to that
Yeah.
dating back to like 2014.
Somebody
like,
leaked it.
That's probably what
early
happened. That's probably what
2015.
happened.
You said that's what happened?
Because I think you said Slime season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Slime season 2 was a mixtape. That's why.
Yeah, it was leaked, but it's not on streaming services. I don't know.
I thought
Oh,
it was
okay.
for a little while.
So I'm confused on what you were talking about then.
I don't know, man. All I know is that's my favorite album from Thug, or probably the album that got me into Thug anyway, and I like that one better than Barter
For
6,
sure,
to
man.
be honest.
I think we can all agree
Okay.
that was the Go to Thug album.
I can't.
Huh?
I gotta be the one.
Talked about this.
Huh?
I thought we already talked about this before.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys want to save it for another podcast where we can really delve into his discography, or we can do it right now. It's up to y'all. But quickly, I think his best album. Okay, maybe not his best album, but my favorite album from him is Jeffrey, which is an unpopular opinion because damn near nobody has that as their favorite album from him. But I really like the emotion that he put into his voice and the songs that he created on there.
Yeah,
There was definitely
Yeah, I
something
fuck
different about
with
Jeffrey.
that album.
I'm not mad at that actually.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
All right, well that's good. I thought y'all were gonna kill me over that.
Nah.
Yeah, that was a good album.
I don't even consider myself like I mean, I do really fuck with Thug, but I'm not like I don't even know how to say it. Like I'm not like a day one rocking with him for this long. Like I love his music today, of course, but I was iffy on him for a while because I was a huge Wayne fan, and so it kind of at first when he first came out, it kind of rubbed me kind of weird, like when he
Right.
first came out.
The Barter series.
Yeah.
Dang.
Makes sense.
I never even knew that was a thing. I never even knew Wayne fans were mad at that.
It's the
I
type of
wasn't
thing.
try
necessarily
to
mad
kill
at that, but I was just mad at like his style and similarity. Like I couldn't really get into him, you know.
Yeah, but it's the type of thing where if he gonna name it the Barter, I'm for sure it's a reason why you check it out.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. Do y'all want to? Oh, I'm not knowledgeable enough on that, Tando.
What I just
y'all-
posted?
Yeah, y'all can talk about it if you want to, that Twitter take. Or we can move into. We're coming up on an hour on the podcast. We can move. I'm not in a rush, but
Not as long as I thought it was.
yeah, honestly.
I can't see. Yeah. No, it's up to y'all.
But should we do that? Or how knowledgeable are you guys on Crit?
I'm not
He's
that knowledgeable. I just
he's
have
probably-
certain songs.
He's probably definitely a sleeper as far as like not even just rapping wise, just making music. Period. I feel like he definitely is slept
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, he's a legend, and I didn't know for a while that he was as good as a producer that he is.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was late too.
I feel like Crit, like he had the potential to be like Kendrick level status. I'm not really sure where the disconnect was, or like where I wouldn't say he fell off because I think he still makes good music, but he definitely, I don't know. Like there was a point, like I don't know if y'all remember Mount Olympus, that song Mount Olympus.
I think
He was
so.
like
Yeah.
really staking his claim and like trying to, kind of put his name up there with everybody like the Coles and Kendricks of the world. But I don't know. After that, he kind of like disappeared a little bit. But his last album, not the most recent one, but I guess the album before that, that was like a double album. That album was tough, super tough.
Um,
I think it could have put him back on the map, but again, I feel like he missed the boat somewhere. I'm not really sure where, but
yeah, I never know. My only experience with Crit was I was down in St. Mary's and I was driving around with my buddy Pruitt. Shout out Pruitt, and he played me a big Crit song, and because he knows I'm like a music head, and I was like, man, I was like, I've never heard this. Send me this. And he's like, you've never heard this? And I was like, nah. And then I was like, who's this by? He's like, Big Crit. And I think it was that Olympus song you were talking about. And he was like, I can't believe you've never listened to Big Crit. And honestly, before I looked it up, I thought he was a much like an older rapper. Like I thought he kind of did stuff in the 2000s. And then looking at his discography, it's kind of weird to me that it's in the 2010s almost. But I haven't delved into his discography, but I plan to do it on some point.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Because I feel like I was introduced to him. Like, I don't even remember if somebody introduced. I think I just heard it and I was like, what is this? Like, this is fire. And it was like, it was the Catalactica album, which was like a while ago. And that was like I think
2014.
That was the last time I listened to him. So
For some reason, when I think of Big Crit, I'm also thinking of like Maxo Cream.
They're pretty
Very-
different, aren't they?
very different artists. Very different.
Hey, but I like
Yeah.
Maxo Cream. I don't think Maxo Cream gets the recognition he deserves.
I like
He
Max
has,
Cream a lot too.
he has this one tape I really like, and like I don't know. I don't think Maxo Cream, because I pulled it up on Spotify right now. He only has 1 million monthly listeners, which I don't know. I figured he'd have a few million, but I liked Punkin and I liked the Persona tape. I still haven't listened to Brandon Banks.
I feel like it might be a slight similarity in maybe their voice or the way they talk, though.
I wouldn't say it.
Where's Crit from?
I wasn't
Does
saying there was so
anybody know?
much similarity.
Crit's
but
from
I was
Mississippi.
just-
Okay.
Yeah.
Crit has like a really deep Southern drawl.
And
Like-
Maxo's from Texas, right? I think he's
Yeah,
from
so
South
they
Texas.
both kind of like
Southern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
So maybe
personally.
that's it.
But I think one thing with Crit though, y'all gotta check out. I don't know how you gonna find it now, because Lord knows these mixtapes be getting removed like crazy now. But he has a lot of good mixtapes. That's where probably some of his best work is mixtapes.
Okay.
But yeah, he has some, like his album. I forgot what it's called. I think it's. I'm gonna have to look it up. But he has a album that's like a double album that's really, really probably his best project since mixtapes, in my opinion. His last
Okay.
album wasn't like great though. I would say it was good, but it wasn't great.
Tando, are you well versed on him?
Yeah, I'm very well versed on him. I've been listening
Okay.
to him. Since,
What is your favorite album from him?
probably Forever is a Mighty Long Time, which is the double album I was saying. I just had to look it up.
Okay.
It has a lot of
It dropped
songs.
in
but,
17.
like, the good songs are really good, especially the first half of like the first 11 songs in the album are like amazing, and then the other 11 are solid. But like, yeah, like it's that's probably my favorite. But he has a lot of good songs like everywhere. He really could have easily been. You know what it was? He had this album called Catalactica. I think that was
What Cam was saying.
like his like I'm Here album, but I don't think it hit the way like it was.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that was on fault of him, or do you think it just didn't reach the intended audience?
I think it didn't reach its intended audience because honestly, I think back then, and I don't know if y'all agree with this, but I feel like a lot of artists were held to a little bit of a different standard. I feel like now you could put out an album as long as it has at least 10 good songs out of like 16, like, and it streams well, you're good.
Yeah.
Like you're good. But back then you kind of had to have like a really good album. The blogs had to really mess with it because that was like the blog era. And you really had to just get that push.
Oh, that's facts.
People really analyzed stuff more than they do now. Now it's just really about streaming and about having like a couple of hits or TikTok
Yeah,
songs, whatever you want to call
yeah,
it.
man. A lot of these people are garbage.
I wasn't even gonna say
Honestly,
all that, but
they just stream high because they got some hard 808s in there. Like, you know,
one of these days we got to go in depth of like the transition between the blog era and the streaming era, because I feel like that transition was so like abrupt, low key. Like, because one day I feel like it was just people, it was just like the big three: Drake, Kendrick, Cole, all that. That was it. And then you had some people over here, but they weren't like on the same level type stuff. But like back then, you couldn't see an artist like Lil Baby reaching that height. But now people will say oh, Lil Baby's like on that level, which I don't think people
is
would
crazy to
their
me.
mouth to say like back then.
I think it was because like I want to say like 2013, like once it started getting into the teens, like 2013, 2014, I feel like that's when it started to get really big for of course it was pretty much big for like a while with certain other artists, but around that time it started to get really big with the albums having like a whole huge concept, a story, like a whole world for it. And I remember because I'm a huge Donald Glover and like Childish Gambino fan, and I'm realizing that because of the internet came out in 2013, and I remember watching an interview and he was talking about that, how it's so big for albums to have like a major like concept and like story and have its own world for people to live in through like concerts and music videos and stuff like that, because they don't want to just listen to the music, they want to be a part of that experience,
that world.
That world. They want to be at the concerts taking pictures with the artists, they want to be on stage, they want to record the whole concert, like they want to be a part of that world, and it makes so much sense going back to even like albums that I was like that just blew my mind when I was younger, like Kanye, like the whole series of that, like that was like a whole world, like there was a cartoon to go with it, and like
are you talking about his
Graduation Bear, and like all that stuff, like that was a whole world for people to live in, so. And
now he's dropping stuff like nah, that's crazy.
Oh my god, don't even get me started on that.
Yeah.
But I that is crazy, and that's crazy how he had that story, because you were saying that kind of started in 2013, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with. I think a big part of music back in the 90s was to be able to have the story and to be able to at least tell a story in a song, not necessarily a track run together. I'm not educated enough to say state my opinion on that, but at the very least, I can say that's so crazy that Kanye's first 3 albums were that college series, the College Dropout, Late Registration, and then Graduation. And then those 3 albums are all amazing now that I've listened to the College Dropout. So I think that's really cool. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with Childish Gambino. I think now that he's not really making music, we kind of underappreciated his work.
Oh, y'all didn't hear his last album?
Maybe I'm alone in that. But yeah, I heard that, but that wasn't like old Childish Gambino.
Yeah, there was only about one song.
Yeah,
which album?
The last album, there's not even a name for it.
Oh, the one with the date?
Yeah, 3/15/20.
Yeah, I don't think I've listened to like one song off of it.
Man, but I think his old stuff really, really was creative. And I mean, because the internet and Camp and even Kawhi.
Oh my God.
And yeah, so. And I can't speak on Awaken My Love. I think that got overshadowed by Redbone, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I almost forgot. I don't even know, but I almost forgot about how much I love that album, because it didn't feel like he made it. Like that's how far he kind of like went off the reservation with that.
Right,
bro. Like
that's in a good way though, Tando. You mean that in a good
way? That album to me, that's a personal classic of mine.
Yeah, that's because of the internet is probably top 5 for me. Like that album is amazing to me. But that album, Awaken My Love, like my
Yeah.
favorite song is even Redbone on it. It's Terrified. Like that album is really good.
Yeah. Man, I gotta listen to that. I can't believe I never even listened to that. I really heard Redbone and I got tired of Redbone, so I was like, I'm
Wait,
never gonna check this
you
out.
never listened to that album?
I never listened to that album in full.
Oh my
I've
God,
listened to everything else, I think.
that's
I
crazy.
respect that though, because like I know for me, like when sudden like because Redbone got blown up like in
Yeah, way too far.
overplayed, but and I feel like that can easily turn away people.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
That song almost has 1 billion views. It has 830 million views on Spotify,
Mhm.
and yeah, so that
I,
definitely got overplayed for me, and I was just like, I don't even want to check this album out. Like, I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
I will say though, even though I'm not huge on his most recent album, there is one song that I think y'all should check out because it's easily one of my favorite songs from him. Even though he has a lot of great songs.
Oh damn.
Okay.
It's called. Obviously, it's hard to tell because like the album was just it was promoted
Numbers.
so poorly, but
Yeah.
12:38 is the
Okay.
timestamp.
I was gonna say that.
Song
I
name.
do remember people talking about that album. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. But that song, like you don't have to check out the rest of the album, but that song to me was
That
one of
song,
my
I
favorite
meant.
songs this year, easily, and probably one of my favorite songs from him.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cool.
Do you guys think that last album from Childish Gambino was just kind of a statement? Because I think for a lot of artists in their career, they get to a point where there's almost like a hierarchy in music where at the bottom you're kind of struggling to find your sound. Once you find the sound, there's an upper ring where you try to kind of get a little bit of clout that you can live off of, and then you want to start doing the top of the charts. You want to start really doing numbers on Billboard and stuff like that. And I think once you fulfill all of that, a lot of artists have a desire, that top ring that most of them can never get to, which is to say, forget what everybody thinks about this work of art. I want to create a work of art. I want to create something that I like, regardless of how it sells, regardless of how it streams. I want to do something real creative with it. And I don't remember that album too much, but he marketed it so poorly that I wonder if that's what he was going for. So I don't know if any of you have thoughts on that.
I have
I
a hot
feel-
take about. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I have a hot take about artists that get to that like experimental phase.
Yep.
I hate that fake deep shit, man. Like, and honestly, Kendrick is also he does this a lot too.
You better watch
But
out.
I'm tired of this like fake and mysterious, like I'm gonna be fake deep and like follow my Instagram, delete everything. Like just release the
Oh
music.
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm tired of like all this like mysterious crap, bro. Like just drop the music. You're a great artist. I know you're creative, but you don't have to do all this extra shit around it. Just give me music. That's all I want. So honestly, when it comes to that, I feel like he didn't have to be that cryptic with it. Like whether he wants to be creative. I mean, it was a creative album, but I feel like he could just stop being weird, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like,
Right.
at the end of the day, like, I'm just tired of that shit, man. And a lot of artists, Cole does this too sometimes. Like, a lot of big artists do it, but I think Cole is not even as bad with it as Kendrick or Childish Gambino, honestly.
I feel like
Or Cardi.
Yeah.
Well, Cardi's a
But-
whole different category.
I feel like with like it can be that way, but I feel like it depends on the artist and just like how they are as a person. Because like the people that you just listed, all those people have something in common. They're not a fan of social media anyways. And if they're that high of an artist, they don't have to use social media as a tool to push their stuff. So
That's facts.
it's
Yeah, I like that take.
So I don't think they're like necessarily trying to be, different and cool and stuff like that. I think they're really just doing it for the creative art, whatever they're actually going for. But I can't really say maybe like about this album, of course, because I didn't really pay any attention or look into it. But yeah, I don't really know with this project. I think but like with what I said before, I think he probably was going for like this just being a more than just the album. It was like an experience. because with didn't he do with the Awaken My Love? I think he did like a whole tour that was like I don't think people were allowed to even like bring their phones into the thing, and it was like
Oh, what the
he
heck?
was like he was like
That's what it was
dressing up
called.
and stuff, and he was like it was like a whole experience like
Man.
regarding it, and it was like an app with it and everything. So I think this
Well, what's the
album,
point of the app if you can't bring your phone in?
It was called like four something. I forgot. It was something with a PH.
yeah, like it was like Pharaohs or something like
Yes,
that.
Pharaohs. That's
Okay.
exactly what it was.
Yeah, so I think he just transformed this into like a complete, like maybe not even an album. Like it just ended up being here afterwards, just so people could replay it.
Right.
And I think this was like a whole experience. Like it reminds me of I don't know if you got like because I think some of you guys listen to Frank Ocean, but
Yes.
he had a project that Endless. Like that, I don't know if that I guess can be considered an album, but it was really an experience. It was like a long live stream video, and it was
He's
just like
Okay.
a playlist of songs.
He's another
So
nigga that be pissing me off with that though.
yeah,
Man.
and see, like it could seem like he's being mysterious, but I feel like that's just him as a person.
Yeah.
Like he just
I was
doesn't post and stuff like that.
I was gonna say before you go, Tondo, and sorry to cut you off at the end there, Cam, but
No, you good.
I was gonna say a lot of these dudes, you have to remember that a lot of these dudes, in order to be creative enough to make music that we as regular people are talking about, you have to have an insane level of creativity, and your brain almost has to be different in a way. So we think they're quote unquote weird for it, but I think that's just how they are and who they are as people, like Cam said. So I think that what we call quote unquote weird just comes with who they are as a person and how their brain works.
It's like
So that's my thought on it. Some
there's
people
like
do it for fake, but go ahead, Ray.
there's like creativity, and then there's like inventing. And I don't know if there's anything else that I could think of, but I just felt like those two could be compared. Like as far as like when it comes to like making music,
Right.
like
Yeah,
where it comes
and
from.
yeah, and I remember around I think it was like 2014 or 2013. I remember because Childish Gambino, he used to post more um on his IG and stuff, and like I remember he had like wrote just like what he was thinking, like what was on his mind, in like a hotel on a notepad, and people started getting on him like thinking he was suicidal, but he was just writing what was on his mind.
I
And
remember
so
that.
yeah, so I feel like experiences like that will like draw a person away from social media, especially when they're like it's a big thing with like fans feeling like art, like they're entitled to taking pictures or being a part of or the inside of an artist's life, and that's not the truth. Like they feel like you signed up for this, you knew what you were getting into, but no, not really. You might have an idea of it, but you don't really know until you experience it. So
That's a good take.
They've been making niggas going back to read newspapers and shit.
yeah, and just disappearing.
Which that's totally cool. I think that's cool, as well, just to do something that nobody else is doing, So
Right.
Mm-hmm.
one day I hope to find myself in a successful position where I want to get off social media and just find out about
Read the news.
In the newspaper.
I think I just gotta man, that has to suck though, being an artist. And you understand that once you get to a point, you're gonna have fans, but it gets to a point where some of these guys where you can't go out in public without being bothered. And I know some of them have almost gone crazy over it, but you just want to live a normal life again,
Mm-hmm.
and it leads to people wearing these crazy outfits and stuff like that. Just so they can go out in public and not be recognized and not have people go up to them and say, hey, can I get an autograph? Hey, can I take a picture? So that has to drive you nuts.
Can I want to give one last, well, it's not a tour to take. It's actually a sleeper that I want to get into that I feel like is kind of related to what we were talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So like, a lot of I'm just going to piggyback off of what Cam said and how, like who they are as a person goes into it. And I have two guys that I'm gonna name that are sleepers. They're going head to head against each other. I want you guys' opinions. And one of the guys I think only gets backlash because he grew as a character and his character grew, and therefore, his motives changed, his desire to
Can I take a guess?
to impact other people, like how he wanted to influence other people changed. And we're talking about, yeah, go ahead and take a guess, dog.
The only person I can think of that's doing it right now is the whole NLE Choppa thing where he's trying to transition to not rapping about violence.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's dropping an album where he's not going to rap about violence, which is all he raps about.
Just with that loud ass voice.
I actually think it's gonna be straight. I ain't even gonna hold him.
Is that who you were talking about though, Ray, or no?
No. Okay.
Is the person alive that you were talking about?
Yeah, the person. Is
Okay.
alive. The person is alive. I feel like we're playing like a guessing game right
You
now.
talking about Kanye?
20 questions.
I'm talking about Kanye. I was talking about Chance the Rapper, and
Oh my
I
God.
feel like I'm gonna give the take that's on Twitter, but I feel like him and Logic can kind of be paired into the same thing. But Logic doesn't really get as much like hate, like but it sucks because like
does.
they both. He does.
Yeah, he gets hate.
Niggas got tired though.
Maybe he does.
He definitely does.
Hey, I know that's right. Hey, that is probably I'm pretty sure that's facts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna say I'm pretty sure. I'm sure that's facts. But
His hate started when Chance was about to take off, and now like Logic passed the corny torch to Chance.
oh my god,
Man.
oh my god. But anyway, like I feel like these rappers, their whole like they're changed because they got away from venting. They became more happy, and they found God, etc. So this take is by Cryptic. Y'all might have seen him on Twitter.
Yeah,
he says,
Yes, sir.
he says, man, mother freakers will say Nav is trash and then go listen to Chance the Rapper. So those are the two sleepers that I think we should.
Wait. Chance and Logic or Chance and Nav?
Nav's a goat.
Chance and Nav.
Nav's a goat. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know who he's talking to, but I mean, Nav is certified.
I don't like Nav.
I'm joking.
His music, not as a person. I'm fine with him as a person. He's a cool guy.
I don't hate Nav, but I don't know. But
Have respect. I'm before we even. I respect Nav as a producer heavy.
Easy.
For sure.
Easy. Real producers know that.
For sure. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, first it was Big Crit.
He started as a producer.
All these producers, all these rappers that are producers, I didn't even know about.
Man, yeah, he started as a producer, and a lot of the stuff he made was just production. And then he's like, "All right, I'm gonna start hopping on it." And that's why he kind of started out as like kind of like more amateurish, if that makes sense, because he didn't have the craft under his belt. He was trying to get into it.
That makes sense to why he uses hella auto-tune and actually looks like a producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
his auto-tune sound like a robot. But getting to Chance. So what do y'all? Well, what was the take again? Oh no, you said not okay. What do y'all think?
Ray
About
was saying they're sleepers.
That's tough.
Like who's the bigger sleeper? You know what I'm saying? Because in this
Chance
sleepers. Like what's your definition of sleeper? Because I don't think I think they're. Are you saying like you think people are like underrating them because like of their recent work, or like what are you trying to say?
That's what I got out of it.
I don't know what other thing there'd be, to be honest.
It's tough because I wouldn't consider Chance a sleeper because he's a huge artist today, even though I feel like he's slowly tarnishing that image.
Yeah.
But
tough.
I loved younger Chance when he was first coming up. Of course, acid rap, 10 Day, that type of stuff. Like I love that Chance. Like that was fire. Like
how do y'all
Chance
like
when he was hanging around Childish Gambino.
I'll let you finish.
Oh no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, how do you guys like his features?
I haven't even been listening
not bad.
to him.
He has good features. Sorry to cut you off, Kim. I spoke over you.
No, you're good. I haven't even been listening to him, honestly.
I thought the feature that he did with Justin Bieber, he had a good feature on there. I think.
I'm not checking that song
I didn't
out.
peep that. I will check it out, but I didn't listen to it.
I'm cool. I liked his verse a lot on the Spillage Village album.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, even that one.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
He's still putting out good verses.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've only heard like 2, maybe 3 Chance verses I liked the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I did like my favorite verse of his in a while was on Gucci Pajamas with Guapdad 4000, because to me that sounded like old Chance. That sounded like coloring. Actually, no, it even sounded like acid rap Chance, which to me is obviously like the best Chance in most people's minds.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of his recent features to me have been a little bit like, I don't know, it's just hard to listen to it sometimes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The one he has with Justin Bieber is valid though.
I don't. Yeah, and I heard a snippet of that. I believe you, bro. I'm just gonna say
Oh my god.
But no, are we more sleep? Is the general audience like more sleep? Oh, not even general audience, like also general audience, but also like, you know, us personally. Like, are we more sleep on Nav or more sleep on Chance?
Logic?
I would say Chance. But actually, I don't know, because Nav gets a lot of hate, but he's on the production that you like that have songs featuring Nav, if that makes sense. People will be like, man, this song would be crazy if Nav wasn't on it. It's like, bro, Nav made the beat. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
There's a subsection of Twitter that's really messing with Nav, though. Like,
I've never seen that. I've never been there.
I'm not gonna lie. His SoundCloud days, like that, them songs, I really like. Like Myself, off his first project, Interlude, like those songs I actually like. It might be the production that carries, but like, 'cause it's just so smooth and it almost has like a video game feel to it. But like, I don't know. I just like, those are like the songs you could almost just chill, do your homework to, and like play video games and just have in the background.
Dude,
like,
I checked out the last Nav album. My homie was like, you know, one of them 2018 kids, you know, which I'm not trying to act, you know, special or nothing, because I graduated 1 year, you know, before, but hey, them kids built different. Hey, they NBA young boy is like they go to, so I don't even know. But, dude, but he was just like, oh, the Nap album is fire. So I listened to it. First of all, too many damn songs. Second of all, it all blended in too much and just gave me a headache, dude. Like it just it just all sounds the same.
Yeah.
I
like, what does he do? What does he do well?
Nothing really.
Oh my god.
Features.
Produces. His production's a strong suit.
Besides, you know, being the fucking the D Wade of the team and being like, okay, I got the culture and the beat, but Chris Bosh, I need you, little baby.
You're giving him D Wade?
Young Thug, Young Thug, LeBron, I need you. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I kind of like that. I like that comparison, because really all these songs blowing up with Nav are not blowing up because of Nav. And Nav has been the laughingstock of a lot of songs. And now that I'm kind of thinking about it, you know, I'm not going to say well-deserved, but I'm not going to say it wasn't deserved. But
we'll just put the production aside and talk about his actual...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like his verses and stuff like that are, if we're just talking his rapping discography, I think it all kind of sounds the same. I don't think he's ever done anything unique that somebody hasn't done before. And when you go to Chance, as much as I don't listen to him now, I didn't like the Coloring Book, I think it was called, or The Big Day. I did like Coloring Book, chill. But he's very creative and innovative, and he has his own sound that I understand why people like. So I would say that's why I would say Chance is more slept on.
Did y'all hear that?
Gets all that hate.
Did y'all hear that song with the Made in Tokyo song with Smino and Chance?
Oh, I did like that song.
Man.
I'm not gonna lie. I skipped over Chance's verse. I'm not gonna lie.
Chance's verse.
Smino had the best verse though.
Like you said, the song's over.
Smino killed that. My biggest problem
killed that.
wasn't even like. And here's probably my biggest problem with Chance now, and I think I've just outgrown Chance to a point, is his cadence just sounds too much like just like
It's like harsh.
nursery rhyme. Like
Yeah.
I don't like the way he be projecting his voice. Like he just sounds like I don't even know how to describe it. Like I mean,
I feel like it's gotta have a certain production behind it to fit. It can't. He just can't. I feel like he definitely has to have a certain type of production for it to make sense. He can't just keep that type of flow and just be thinking it's going to carry on features and other stuff that isn't like catered to that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, he just I don't know. The way he just comes across is just like a perfect example is that song with I don't know if you ever heard that song he had with YB Cordae, but I just man, that song.
Oh, yeah, on the Cordae album. Yeah.
I just don't like the way he be coming across.
I wasn't even a fan. I wasn't a fan of that song actually.
But if he has really like chill production and his flow is like I don't know how to describe it. Because another one that I remember hating was the one he had on Herb's album, where like they're talking about like PTSD and stuff, and this man just comes in sounding happy as hell, even though he's not talking about no happy stuff.
Oh my god! Yeah, I can't even listen to that song.
Oh yeah, Chance did share on it though. It was alright. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing crazy, but
I don't know when that man talking about no sad.
But no, he does tend to come on the beat just sounding like happy.
I'm not gonna lie, because you originally brought up Logic too, Logic and Chance. Logic gets a lot of hate, but he has two projects that I do like. The Incredible True Story, and Under Pressure. The Incredible True Story.
I agree spot on with that.
It's really good. I'm not gonna lie.
He didn't do that until Everybody and that Suicide song.
Which one? Oh, okay, yeah.
The hotline number.
What do you have against that?
No, it wasn't about the content. I just don't like the way it's kind of similar to the Chance thing. I just didn't like how he popified that topic.
And
because it really wasn't pop.
It really
It was pop. It was definitely
pop. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't have anything against that song.
We gotta get the rhythm out of here, man. So we
oh yeah,
I don't get that.
All right.
One thing I was gonna add in real quick is that my thing with Logic is, and which I think a lot of people have a problem with, is the internal problem that he has with being biracial and struggling with like being himself and realizing that that's okay and not trying to fit in. Like I feel like he sometimes tries to sway and try and like be something that he's not, and I don't know, like he tries to make music that fits certain people and stuff like that. Like just do what you like and it'll work out right. I feel like that's where it kind of messes up.
I don't think he ever really had like a identity to begin with. I mean, I liked his mixtapes, but I felt like he was always trying to be somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Because he did have that problem for like a while, like, and it was pretty known.
Yeah.
And he would talk about it in his songs.
But I think that's why once he tried to stray away from that on Everybody, like he just didn't sound good because he didn't really know who he was or like how he wanted to set himself apart from everybody else.
Okay, yeah. Later for sure. As for the first two albums, I think he remained very true to himself, and I think that Under Pressure album, the deluxe album, Under Pressure Deluxe, that is a great album. And I really, really like that album. And there's not many parts on that album that I don't like. And then even going back to Bobby Tarantino, that wasn't that bad. But I think that's when he started straying away.
He did. Yeah.
So I think you guys are right. I thought you were talking about his older stuff at first.
I think because on his older stuff, like he was still trying to find himself, which is cool. It was still good. Like it was still good. Like once he strayed away from that and he was like, okay, let me just be me, I guess. Or I guess like kind of try to find his own lane. He just couldn't really figure it out.
Yeah. And it's ironic because he had his own lane. that like
Yeah.
that first album really was like, because I was thinking about it, and in terms of like somebody who makes music, I go back to that album for reference because he can't necessarily sing, but he had a lot of catchy hooks on that.
Yeah,
And it was a
he
great album
harmonized.
without having to have like technically a hook on every song or a normal hook on every song. You know, a lot of stuff now is people singing like something catchy on a hook, but that album was great. And the hooks were the most interesting to me because I can't sing. So I go back and study how he did the hooks and how he made it so good. So I really do think he had his own lane. And then he kind of, man, I don't know what the word is for it, but he tried to be somebody else, like you guys said, and it just like, man, I don't want to hear this.
Yeah, there's just certain artists that I feel like I grew out of as they kind of tried to figure kind of stuff out, and Chance and Logic are textbook examples of that.
And you hate to see it.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all ever saw that take where people were saying that, I would kind of start with Joe Budden, but some other people picked it up, but they said that Chance was going to be damn near as big as Drake.
No,
I remember you saying that, yeah.
Who said that when?
Joe Budden a few years ago. It was like right after Color. I don't know if it was right after Coloring Book, or it was a few months after Coloring Book, but like Chance was really, you were seeing it everywhere.
And he was huge.
It was also probably a down year for Drake when Drake wasn't really like doing a lot. So
I can see that.
I mean, some people were feeling
into
that take, but at the time it was somewhat feasible. As much as I don't really like Chance now, I don't hate that take. People will try to kill him for it, but there's certain people that just never like Chance, and they'll always just try to pretend like he was always trash. But I
think he really had the potential to butt into a kingpin of a niche lane, if that makes sense. But Drake, as far as talent goes, I think Drake's miles ahead. And I'm not a big Drake guy, but Drake's miles ahead of Chance when it comes to talent and like stuff he's done. And so I think, and he's also versatile enough to really appeal to the mass audience and stuff like that. Whereas Chance, I think he would just become really big in a niche lane. Almost like I'm kind of scared to compare them. But like, because I know they're not anything near each other, but I think kind of what Mac Miller did in his lane would have been what Chance did in his lane. And I know they're completely different artists. That's not what I'm saying, but kind of how he had that niche lane under his belt, if that makes sense. What do y'all think about that?
I don't necessarily agree. I mean, I think that comparing him to Drake was more of like a projection, just like with NBA players, that they show certain things beyond. They're like, okay, he might be as big as this, like how people talk about Anthony Davis, or how they talk about Anthony Davis like before he kind of reached it now. But no, I feel like Chance. I feel like it wasn't a crazy thing at the time. I think Chance could have appealed to the masses. I just think that he just really just dropped the ball with the big day. I don't think he'll ever get that momentum back. But I think he would have. I don't really see the Mac Miller comparison, to be honest.
Yeah, and again, I wasn't comparing their art or like who they are as a person or their talent level even, but I was just saying what they did for their lane. Just because Mac kind of had his own lane and he kind of was the head of that lane. And I'm not a big Mac Miller fan. I'm not a big Mac Miller guy. I didn't listen to a bunch of his stuff, but I was just saying I could see that like Chance would have a niche audience.
Yeah, so even though we are doing sleepers right now, and we were like, and it was a Twitter take that was in like the sleeper section. One thing I do want to say that I feel like we should discuss in the next pod is and maybe I should have left this for them, but fuck it. Was that discussion we had on who would be the next like big three? I feel like that was a really good
that's something for the next. That's something for the next part.
That was a really good discussion we had. But anyway,
write that down.
Alex, you said you had some sleepers, man. Let's hear them.
I do. So I have 3 albums here that I've listened to. One of them's kind of not necessarily as new. 2 of them are new. They dropped on the same day as Benny. And I'm not going to go into detail with all of them. I listened to the Black Thought album, and I think that's a real big sleeper. I think Black Thought as an artist is somebody that's really, really slept on in terms of his lyricism. Like I think people put him up there but I don't think, like, to me, he's very, very creative with this pen. And I have him as one of my like top 10 of all time with the pen, if I'm being honest. And he dropped an album and it was really good. And I think even he is branching out with it. And I think he had a song. Well, he had multiple songs that were very catchy, as well as very intricate with this pen and how he wrote it. So I think that was something that's going to be slept on. And for somebody that likes Griselda and more lyrical stuff, I think that's something you should look out to. Also, I think I listened to, this is really for anybody who likes production. But I had the argument that Alchemist is having a better year than Hit Boy, which I stand behind. Alchemist dropped a tape, and I forget what it was called. It was called An Alchemist, a Painter, and somebody else walk into a bar or something like that. But it was a short little, just a few tracks, just a few minutes, and it was just some beats he put together. And one song had West Side Gun, but as a whole, I think that tape was very, very good in forms of production. And I think somebody like Cam could go and listen to that and find inspiration from that. So those are my two sleepers.
What kind of features did he have on the Alchemist have on his project? Or was it a collab album?
It was just beats.
Oh, dude, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
So that's strictly production. And again, one song had West Side Gun. I forget the name of it. I'm gonna find the name of the album just so I don't sound like a fool. A doctor, painter, and an alchemist walk into a bar. And the song that he had with West Side was called Stained Glass. My favorites off of it are The Beginning and the End, Rainforest, Rays of Light, and Risk. And the first three that I named are all back to back to back. So that's a solid listen on the album and how they like transition into one another. So I think that's really good. And if you give me a second, I can also pull up the Black Thought album and the songs that I would recommend to listen to. There was one really, really good one that just like, I was like, man, it was called Fuel, featuring Portugal the Man and somebody else. I can't see it. But I don't even know who that is, but that song was really good. I have over half the album saved. State Prisoner, Good Morning, Magnificent. We Could Be Good, Stake 'Em, featuring Schoolboy Q. That's also something people should look out to. You guys might like that. Thought versus Everybody, that was him showing off his pen. Get Up Boys and Girls, and Fuel was just a very creative song. So I think that's an album that's going to be slept on. But if you like that genre of rappers, that's something to look out to.
I did try listening to Stake 'Em the other day.
And did you like it? It doesn't sound like you liked it.
Nah, I did not like it at all.
Man, I liked it.
Schoolboy is very hit or miss on features for me.
Are you a Black Thought fan?
I am, but I just prefer more
Production
personally. So
yeah.
I'm probably not gonna check that out.
Which is also crazy. Let me just say, side note, it's crazy how good he is with the pen and how good he is on production.
No, his pen is crazy. There was a time where like I was listening to a lot of his features on like he had this one song called Imperial. Well, it's not his song, but it's like a Static Selecta song with like features and stuff. So he killed that. Like it was Black Thought, Royce da 5'9", I think Action Bronson, but yeah, he just destroyed them. Another one with Raekwon the Chef, and
Cue the Flav.
Joey Badass, and Black Thought, but he just obliterated them.
Murked it, yep.
Nah.
And same for also that song he has with Benny off of The Plugs I Met. Crowns for Kings. That song's insane.
Yeah, I don't think.
That song's insanely good.
I like Benny, but I don't think he's equipped to match with Black Thought.
Whoa. I think that song was crazy, especially with the beat.
No, I'm sure it is. I actually have to go back. I know I've heard it before, but
yeah. That song's crazy. I love that song. And Benny's verse, not to get sidetracked, but Benny's verse on that is insane. He said, before I knew an A&R, I was weighing hard back when Nicki Minaj was in a training bra. You played his game, you better play it hard. The judge will give you life, and later that day, he going to be playing golf. I was like, man, oh my God. That hit me, and that really stuck with me. But yeah, that song's insane. They both did their thing on that.
Damn. That was tough.
But yeah, should we do song of the day and wrap it up?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Does anybody have anything?
Wait. Oh, Wait, is it only one person doing sleepers?
No, not if you guys have sleepers. I didn't want to cut it short.
I have one that I was thinking about. By Saba, the Care for Me album. I feel like that project is slept on, and that's a really good project. Like that,
we
like
ain't sleep on
it's
that over
not,
here, boy.
huh?
I said, we ain't sleep on that over here.
Oh no. I feel like anybody as long as they're aware of who Saba is, they're not slept on. Like they didn't sleep on it, but I feel like Saba just all around is slept on it. Like that's a really good project. I don't think it's one miss on that album.
What
like
I'll listen to that. I'm gonna listen to that.
Like that's a really good project.
Alex, sorry.
No, I was gonna say what me and Tando were talking about the other day, Cam, was I think Tando was saying something about he has to let you know what the tape was, but we were just talking about how Saba would sound on like a high tempoed song. Like if he could branch out and make something as good as those songs, but kind of the change flow.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Saba's one of my favorites, and I'm gonna go back to him a little bit when we have that conversation about like next up type people, because I think he's not there yet, like commercially, but he's
projection.
But talent wise, he's definitely like man.
The album's great.
He low-key disappointed me. He low-key disappointed me on the Revenge of the Dreamers album, though.
I mean, he only got one verse.
Really? I feel like he did really good on that one verse that he had.
What song was it off of? If anybody knows,
it wasn't it like the last one, Sacrifice or whatever.
Sacrifice.
No, was this? Oh yeah, it was Sacrifices. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Spin Move. I don't know if you count that. That was off the deluxe.
I thought the whole Spin Move was trash. To be honest,
I like Spin Move. I have that saved, and I also have Sacrifices saved.
I like Spin Move, but I think it should have been better with all the people featured on it.
Dude, it should have been better, man.
It really should have, but I did like that.
Honestly, that whole album is something we could all go into depth on based off how complex and intricate that album is.
Man, it's a little sprinkle of everything on that album.
Man, really? You're not kidding.
That'll be a great segue as far as like some of the next up artists. I think a lot of them.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I think we should do that for the next podcast.
Yeah.
But I think for this one, because we've been doing this podcast for an hour and 50 minutes, something like that, if my math isn't wrong.
Oh damn.
Yeah, this second hour flew by. I don't know if you guys want to do song of the day and then wrap it up just to keep it under 2 hours.
What I was gonna say, Alex, is I feel like we should have a link for the viewer. Give them like a song from each section that we talked about, like a song they can take away.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I feel you on that. That's a good idea.
For example, like the Benny Project, probably give them a song with Freddie Gibbs, stuff like that.
Right. I was trying to incorporate it. That's a good idea. And I think for like song of the day, we can say it and then we can listen to it and then give our input on it. If you guys want to do that real quick, and then I can just mute it out of the VOD, and then the audience can listen to it if they want to.
That, or what if we even made a playlist for like all the songs or stuff that like maybe was mentioned?
Right.
Go episode by episode for playlists.
Yeah. Okay. We can work that out when we get there though. We're still on, episode 1. But do you guys want to start wrapping it up? Song of the day and then start wrapping it up. And I'll let whoever wants to go on song of the day go ahead if anybody has anything that sticks out. Swing and a miss. Sounds like crickets. I got a backup song if y'all want it. That I can play if nobody has anything.
I have one song.
All right, bet Tando.
King Alfred by IDK.
King Alfred, you said?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Speaking of next up.
Yeah.
Artist.
All right. So For everybody in the audience, I'm going to cut this out, but we're going to listen to it and then give you guys our thoughts on it. Well, all right. That was a good song. That was a good call, Tando.
Appreciate it.
I fucked with that. What was the name of it? That artist?
King Alfred and IDK. I recommend pretty much all his albums, to be honest, starting from Subtrap. Subtrap on, great albums. Like, great albums. Probably my favorite B&B artist, hands down.
I feel like, man, I feel like for what it was, the song, and what it was not that good for what it was.
Wow.
Wow.
I feel like he actually made it sound good though. One of the verses I like when the beat switched though. Because I wasn't really feeling the production, but when the beat switched over, I felt like that beat was nice, and he was riding on it for a second. I didn't like what Yachty did on it. Like I don't know. It was a lot. But for what it was, they made it sound good, but I didn't think it was good.
Wait, that wasn't Yachty, was it?
That was Yachty.
Oh, I'm bugging. I was like, man, it's like this guy's versatile.
No, definitely was Yachty. I probably wouldn't even thought it was Yachty if I didn't see the music video, because it's pretty apparent it was Yachty.
Yeah, man, I didn't even know that. I really thought it was IDK the whole time. Dang.
Yeah, I did not notice.
But I think I kind of like the production on it.
Yeah, I liked it.
If I'm being honest, that 808 is something.
Yeah, it reminded me of gave me a Baby Keem vibe.
Yeah, it did.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was like a Baby Keem type beat.
It's probably why you ready.
I had a Baby Keem song queued up for Song of the Day.
Ah, dang! I kind of wish you
ironically.
Play it. Oh man.
You said play it?
Yeah, throw it on.
All right.
I love you, Baby Keem.
All right. For the artist, we'll be right back. It's called Monsters.com by Baby Keem.
Oh, bet.
I just want to add real quick that it might seem like we just tried to be smooth and plug that in, but that just randomly, that was a coincidence that I just randomly said that it seemed like Baby Keem. Like I got the vibe from the last song before, and then he just had that ready to go.
I
apologize. I'm back.
That sounded like a trippy type beat, and then it was kind of like a trippy type hook as well. I feel like Trippy. I feel like if you would give Trippy that hook and that beat, he would have slid way harder on it. To be honest.
Interesting. Shout out Cardo.
At all.
Yeah, man, I don't hear that at all, Ray. No, not one bit.
Not at all.
Maybe Cam, to you?
So y'all don't see not only do y'all not see that hook, but not the beat either. Not either of it.
Especially not the beat.
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah, maybe not so much the beat, but the hook for sure, man.
Maybe. I feel like Trippy.
How is that a maybe? Do y'all not see Trippy saying that?
No.
She's a monster. Nah.
Maybe, but not with his voice. Like the subject material, maybe, but his voice, because he's known for like delaying those, like, he holds his notes for a really long time, and he kind of makes hooks out of that rather than saying, Baby Keem kind of like, I don't know, does it real quick, if that makes sense.
Every Trippy song is like that.
But I was gonna say, I feel like Trippy would really slide on that beat.
True.
If Baby Keem had that hook, and you just gave Trippy a verse on that, I feel like he would do his thing.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
My only thing with Trippy and features, and this is not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like Trippy is very domineering when he has a feature. Like he'll take over the song, which isn't always a bad thing, but with artists that I really, really like, I don't necessarily want that.
Kind of like Beyonce did on that Megan Thee Stallion joint.
I I mean, she's Beyonce, so.
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
that's what
cap.
everybody
I
was saying. They
still
were
have
like,
not listened to that.
they were like, oh yeah, that's Beyonce. So she can do whatever the fuck she wants. I'm like, damn, all right. It's like I
That's how
can't
Beyonce
disagree
fans
with.
are.
Yeah, that is how their fans are. The Beehive.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Definitely, probably not gonna hear that, but yeah.
Well, all right, y'all. If my math is right, I think that's about 2 hours. So shoot, it went quick. I don't know if you guys want to wrap it up or if you have anything else we should talk about.
I think we good.
Yeah.
Right?
Blueface Fan Club. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We out.
Yeah, all right.